Is I have just hit a technical difficulty. I apologize. It kicked me out. I had to restart the new broadcast for you, and but that happened because I forgot to put my phone on mute, and somebody called me, and there's unfortunate. So every time this happens, my screen blacks out and I can't see what's going on. I can't see myself. I can't see you. Hopefully that is no big deal. Say hi to me here in the comments. Just a reminder that I am recording a podcast that will be available later in the podcast. However, I'm also going live here on multiple channels, not just our private group, on public channels, for this live video to be, for this podcast recording to be available, for you to watch as well. And yeah, so how are you doing? I really am so inspired for you to be filling yourself up with positive thoughts and positive ideas and new, beautiful perspectives on how to live life like a love goddess, right? This morning I sat down and I asked myself, how am I embodying my own love goddess this morning? What am I doing? Who is she? What qualities does she have? And a lot of that, a lot of perspectives came through, and I realized that I've actually took a step back from where I used to be, and I have somehow slipped back and allowed myself to relax and not work on myself over the holidays on so many different levels. So for once, I've gained 10 pounds, and I haven't had that extra weight on me in probably close to 4 years. Last time I had that extra weight was when we went to Europe, and that was a while ago. And since then, I found a solution how to take it off, right, and keep it off. That's the most important thing. And so somehow over the holidays, over the past 2 weeks, oh wait, 3 weeks, I guess, I've gained the entire 10 pounds back, and I am just shocked how I let myself go that way. So that's one thing. Another thing is I've allowed a lot of I haven't been doing a lot of mind positivity or affirmation work or morning meditation work or energy work. I slipped back because there is other priorities. I was with my family and they were distracting. And so a lot of the things that I normally do to keep myself up to speed, on the energy level, I wasn't doing. And that has slipped me back into my old way of thinking. All my negative projections came back, all my negative thoughts came back, and I've caught myself. We are a reflection of what we have in our lives, right? What we have in our lives is a direct reflection of our own thoughts. And so I can see now that what I have been thinking and all the things I've been complaining about, well, they're right in my face right now. They're right in my face. So that what happens when you stop working on yourself and when you stop doing your spiritual gym. And that is exactly the consequences that you will experience if you stop. No matter how far you are, if you just stop working on yourself, because it's an ongoing work, you simply gonna slip back and not only not grow, you're gonna go back in your development process. You're never gonna stay at the same level, right? And so those things has I caught myself this morning when I was doing my meditation work, when I was doing my energy work, how much of that came back and how much of negative projections came back. And I had to take it by the horns and rework my ideas, rework my projections, show myself that they're not true. It's just something I've created in my own mind. And the things that I'm upset about are, again, just fear coming through. And so I had to work through that. I have to clear through that. So a lot of that is really a personal work, right? And so when I sat down and I've asked what my love goddess looks like today, I've kind of was taken back to the time, when I wasn't that person at all, right? We have in our lives the things that we have right now that we take for granted. They're so, um, it's like matter of fact, like, yes, we now, we have all of the things that we now have. We forgot that at some point in our lives we didn't have them. And I'm talking about your personal qualities, your body qualities, your financials, your possessions, like you bought a house, you had a kid, like all the things that we at some point dreamed about, and they are now here. We stop appreciating them because we think, oh, it's just a normal side of things, and like we now focusing on what we don't have, which is a human normal thing to do. However, I'm here to talk about and teach you my way of appreciating and creating new energies in your own life that will later materialize. And I'm going to focus specifically on your own personal qualities, because what we're doing here is we are creating and embodying an identity of a love goddess. But how do you start changing your own inner traits or personality qualities if you don't do the work? And a lot of people don't even know what work should they be doing. And as I'm sitting in my morning meditation, I'm realizing that I haven't had so many qualities before, so many things in my life before, and I have created them through consistent personal development work in my own life, especially in the past few years. The only time and the only change that started happening is when I really became consistent in my personal development work. And personal development work is really pointing out and all the things that make me not happy and rewriting them into the things that I want in my life instead. And, a normal person goes through the motions, wakes up in the morning, goes to work and focusing on all the negative things and get triggered. By the end of the day, they're a pissed off motherfucker because because of all the things that went wrong that their focus went onto. That's the life of a normal, regular person. That is why they're average. That is why they're unhappy, because their focus is always in the negative space. And then you see those people who are always happy, and you think, why the fuck you are so happy, right? Like, what happened with you? What's wrong with you? Why you're so happy all the time, right? And we don't understand that there are people, and there's much less percentage of those people who continue holding themselves in that happy state and only noticing all the good things about their life, and they consciously choose to not focus that attention on all the things that might not be going well, or all the things that are maybe a negativity in their lives, right? They consciously choose to focus that energy, that attention on the things um, that don't really move the needle in our lives, right? And the quality of your life is really the quality of emotions that you are experiencing on the daily basis. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that is what I started doing. And in my morning work, I really had to release all the things that I was bitter about, or people that I needed to forgive, or and it's some powerful work. That's some massive personal work. Never take it for granted. Also, an average person cannot go from where they at to do the same amount of personal work I am doing currently on a daily basis. Um, and you start with little steps, and the little steps that I started with was gratitude practice, to like really start noticing things about my life that I am so thankful and I am so grateful about. And those were little things, just the fact that I have food to eat, the fact that I have shoes to wear, the fact that the sun is shining, the fact that the nature is beautiful, the fact that there are no clouds on the sky today, the fact that just those little things, the fact that I have my family with me, the fact that people love me, the fact that I have friends, the fact, like, all those things that I already have that I didn't have. I didn't have my child, I didn't have my house. I used to live in Russia, now I live in the United States. How did that work out? So, like, all those things that I happened to be blessed about, I started focusing my attention on those things first. And that transitioned me into, working through, actually, I'm switching that a little bit. First, I go through all the things that have upset me. And that work is best done in the evening before, because then you go to bed with it. And then in the middle of the night, you would wake up because all of that's going to bother you. So I recommend doing the cleansing work in the evening instead. Um, but sometimes I don't have the time in the evening, or sometimes just my evening doesn't go as designed, and I had to just make modifications, right? And so I would start by writing out things that I'm not happy with about, things that I want different perspective on, and then I sit and I ask for a different perspective on those things, right? And the perspective is given to me, and I start seeing it for other things, and I'm start seeing it from a different angle, and my bitterness goes away, and I clear all of that energy, and then I go into my gratitude practice, right? And rewrite and rethink, and then I go into being thankful for the things that haven't happened yet, for the things that I want in my life that has not come true, but I act and I'm thankful and I'm appreciating and I'm celebrating and I'm leaving and I'm feeling them as if they already happened, because our mind doesn't know what's reality and what's not reality. Our mind does not have that, like, we experiencing the same type and quality of emotions as if we it was real, right? And I it's been my core belief every single, like, from forever ago, that we are really, there's no reality, we're like living out our own projections, if that makes sense. And that what makes me so different from majority of populations that are stuck to think that there's certain things and there's real things and gotta live the real life, and like, and I am living in this completely different dimension, in this completely different reality, that majority of people don't live because they live in the real world, right? And so I've noticed that my perspectives are so hard to understand by majority of people. It's hard for them to, like, grasp their mind that I personally live in this magical realm, and that is why things are happening for me when I happen them for myself. And a lot of times I stop doing the work and I slip back into the real world, right? And I have to pull myself out of there, because the real world only makes me be negative about and complain and kind of find not so great qualities, or live in the sense of lack versus the sense of abundance, where my fantasy world is, where I personally love to be living 100% of my time, right? And that is exactly what I teach you when I teach you to live as a love goddess. But before I got here, before I created that fantasy world that I started living in, right? That is my world of completely magical perspectives of, maybe things are not manifested in a real world yet, but they will be. They will be. But I start living in that realm way long before they actually come into the physical form. Like, I traveled way long before I actually started traveling. I had money way before, like, I had to feel into that energy of abundance way before it actually came to life. And usually, on average, I started noticing it takes 2 years from the time when I really start living in that realm until the thing actually comes manifested. And actually, sometimes it's faster depending on how soon or how strong I want it, right? But it also is not that needy. It's not that needy want. It's more of an exciting want, right? And so I have to practice the feeling first and live in that state for years, as it turned out to me in my practice. Just on the level, some people are able to manifest things quicker because they use their energy difference. For me, it's like 2 years, and I've noticed that. So, but yet again, let's get back to our subject of the two-step method of acquiring those new personal qualities that I'm talking about, right? So actually, maybe I'm gonna add one step, and that step is clarity, because without clarity, you don't know what it is that you really want. So step number one is you want to be so damn clear. And now, personal qualities, yes, personal qualities, the way you work on yourself is just as the same. You work on what's around you. So you're creating your own persona, but you're creating what surrounds that persona as well. And they're almost very similar, very interchangeable things, right? And so in the method to creating both of them is exactly the same. So when you are ready to embrace that new woman that you want to become, or that new life that you want to embrace, you're going to go through three general steps. Step number one, you're going to identify what it is that you want. And I'm not taking anything that is, oh, I just want a lot of money, or, oh, I want to be a beautiful woman. Because why? Because it's very vague and it does not give me specifics. Like, how much money do you want to make? And what kind of person is that you are becoming? Like, beautiful person, like what substitutes, like what constitutes that beautiful person? Is she of a particular does she have certain hairdo or hairstyle or makeup? Like, what does she look like, right? Like, I need specifics. Give me specifics. If she is she confident, like, how confident in what? Like, is she confident in public speaking? Is she confident walking into the room full of strangers? Is she confident in bed? Is she confident in how she looks? Like, what kind of confidence is it? There's so many different sides and ways to confidence. Like, what kind of confidence is that you are embodying? Be very, very specific, and in what it is that you really trying to embody or manifest or create within yourself, within your persona that you're creating. So step number two is make it a habit. Make it a habit to sit down and feel how that woman feels every single day. It's the consistency that makes a difference. It's the amount of time you focus on it that makes a difference. The more you focus on it, the sooner it's going to come true. So if you can sit down and do it multiple times a day, great, but at least once a day. At least once a day for at least 15 minutes. You're going to sit down and you're really going to feel into, what does this woman feel like? What kind of confidence is she embodying? Imagine those situations that you are walking into and acting confident in, right? Those are the situations that's gonna define that feeling for you that you're really looking for. You want to focus on the feeling of being confident, being that woman, being whatever it is that you're creating, right? Whatever it is that you're creating. And step number three is really about faking it till you're making it. I was debating just doing the entire live video and the entire podcast on that specific subject, fake it till you make it, because that is exactly what pulled me through on the other side. I have to act as if I already am, and then I will be. I have to act as if I already am, and then I will be. I Before I had financial abundance, I had to act. I had so much fear and blocks, and I had to work through that. But I had to act courageously and spend money in places where I was terrified to spend money. And that action of doing this as if I was already living that life has helped me to get on the other side, because by acting I create even more um confidence, even more clarity, even more step. Like, I'm energetically, I'm claiming this is the person I am. I am becoming this person. And energetically, the portal opens. Like, I'm clearing the space for that new person to really take place. And it takes practice, and it takes constant work on yourself until you actually start believing. And when you start believing, that is when things are happening. Like, when you start acting and living on the from this philosophy, even though you are not there yet, but you are so damn in your own fucking head that you are living it out like a crazy person. Exactly. And that is exactly what I'm teaching you to do here, is being that crazy person who believes in something that doesn't exist yet. Only then, and only then you will start seeing more and more of the things that showing up for you on the other side in the physical reality. Right. And so those are the 3-step methods on acquiring your new personal qualities, or new personal things, or new person, like whatever it is that you want in your life, whatever it is that whatever creates your happiness, whatever the next step is for you, that is the most important thing, those 3 steps. And of course there's more work that goes into it, and of course each one of you needs personal direction and personal help to walk you through those steps, because every single person have different hookups and have different additional steps that they would need to overcome before they can truly embody those 3 things. And that is why coaching with me is so important, so you can notice what you don't notice about yourself. You can notice those limiting beliefs that are holding you back from step 1 to step 2, and then from step 2 to step 3. But those 3 steps are the most important thing that you can do in your life. Again, let's recap. So, step number 1, define very clearly what it is that you are desiring in your life and what qualities are you creating. Step 2, create a habit around that particular quality, a habit that includes daily practice of feeling into what that feels like. And step number 3 is fake it till you make it, truly, until you start believing that this is who you are and this is part of who you are. And only then, may take some time, but then you'll start noticing how much difference it is actually making in your own life. So, with that, my beautiful love goddess, I'm gonna leave you with some food for thought. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you've been following those principles in your own life already, and how it helped you in your life to change your life for the better. And I will see you later. Ciao.